All right, John, let's get back to our conversation about the Bears. And one of the things that we didn't talk about on the first segment was the offensive line and the issues and
big problems,
multitude of problems they have.
Big problems.
Is there anything that they can do? Because I said, look, if you can't block man-to-man, you can't play pro football probably and win. And they're having a difficult time of doing that right now. My question is, as you go up to practices and whatnot, something we used to use in terms of training people to get off the football, at the same time, really get off the ball, was hit the 7-man sled. Do they still do that?
It's tough to tell because during the season we don't have access to the practice field. They only allow us it out there for 10 or 15 minutes at a time, and that's strictly when the team is stretching.
But
so
when they hit
the only thing we learned is who's practicing.
But when
and
they
who's
hit
not.
that sled, are they barking out signals to make sure that one of the guys doesn't hit the sled?
That's what they should be doing, and from what I understand, Franco Miel is hitting the sled before everybody else is because the false starts. But if there's anything that can be done, I just don't understand why Josh Beekman's not starting a left guard.
The guy with the 2 penalties down the stretch one was the Hall of Fame veteran.
That's true, and I'm not faulting.
And those are mental mistakes.
They're absolutely mental mistakes. Now, Bears fans, you should have been well-versed in knowing that the Orlando Pace you're getting is the 2009 version. It's not Orlando Pace circa 2001.
Right.
This is not the automatic Hall of Fame guy. That was years ago.
And they were put in a tough spot when they said, I quit.
But he should have been better last night. But, moving back to left guard, we keep talking about this in the media. We just don't. I know there's $14 million at stake, but I have not seen any evidence whatsoever why he is starting and Josh Beekman isn't. I know Beekman was not on his way to a Pro Bowl career.
About
Yes, Franco Miel. There's no way he should be starting at left guard. He is picking himself off the turf as often as Matt Forte is. He's getting whistled for some pre-snap penalties almost weekly. I know Matt Forte is getting a lot of pressure, and people talking about sophomore slump. 2.2 yards per carry in week 1, 2.2 yards per carry in week 2, 3.1 yards per carry in week 3. Last night, 1.5 yards per carry. Unless you're Barry Sanders in his prime, you're not going to run the ball when you're getting smacked the second you take the handoff.
I think they issue the fumbles with him. That's the only thing.
That is a
concern.
concern.
A big surprise.
Yeah,
that's a big surprise because last year I believe he had 379 touches. He only put it on the turf once. Everyone was loving this guy's ball security, but he's lost 2 this year. He's put 2 more on the turf that he was lucky to get back. All of a sudden, this is an issue, and we've all seen it with running backs in the past. Fumbling is a mental thing, and once you get one, you start thinking about holding on to the football and being worried about the ball itself instead of worrying about your reads and finding the open hole.
There's nowhere to go.
And that makes you look.
Guy.
But you're right. There's nowhere to go.
Like 15 guys there. The fans are tackling.
And that's one of the problems. I mean, the defensive linemen in some cases could almost take the hand off.
Right. They're in his face right away. And another bad thing about last night's game, you had all the problems in the red zone. Dan will tell you, great running teams, most anybody can run between the 20. A great running team runs the ball from the 20-yard line in the red zone. When the safeties are closer, when the linebackers are closer, the Bears cannot do that. And that's why they have to rely on Jay Cutler, and that's why you get the pick.
That's when you make your money.
They'll say, John, they outrushed the Falcons. So your point is made, but
because Jay Cutler tucked one for 30 yards. That's it. That's more than a third of the Bears' rushing total last night. Your supposedly Pro Bowl level tailback had 23 yards rushing.
And the difference is the Falcons were really, granted, their guy, Turner, last year, over 1,700 yards rushing.
1,700
That's a big back to be
right.
Can you believe that the Bears have gone into that building 2 years in a row and combined they've held Turner to about 100 yards and about 2.3 yards per carry, and they've lost both games.
They gave the game away last year. This game was always in the balance because, they made the most mistakes last year.
Sure they did.
But Ryan throws 2 picks. It's not like they didn't make any mistakes.
Something's evened out, sure.
Something's evened out last night.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons played far from a perfect game.
Oh, there's no doubt.
But the Bears made so many mistakes. The red zone problems, the penalties, not being able to run the football.
Bobby Gold couldn't get in position to kick a field goal.
Yeah, it was just.
And
for how great the special teams was 2 weeks ago, special teams won the game against the Lions.
It was a complete
special teams were bad. Coverage units were bad.
I like what Lovey did last night. He took responsibility from the top. He said we were out coached, which you'll hear. Not all the time from Lovey, because I think Lovey's a pretty damn good coach.
Sure.
We were out coached and we were outplayed. That's just the way it is. And I like the way he addressed everybody, says we got work to do.
And
thank God. Did he come in after his quarterback?
No.
Quarterback came in after Lovey last night.
No, I'm sorry. It's quarterback, then it's head coach. It's quarterback, then head coach.
I'm glad everything ended on a good note and that everybody took the blame.
Yes.
As far as Lovey's
Mike, we look at something like third down. We talked about how they have to be more efficient defensively on third down.
Yes.
It's now down to 46% completion to first down. The Bears themselves, though, pretty much the same kind
And what's
of thing.
Jay's rating right now? About 80?
It was 80 in this ball game.
Yeah, it was about 80 in this. I mean, he did throw for 300 yards and a pair of touchdowns, so his passer rating by itself is pretty fine. But he made 2 critical mistakes, a couple of airmail throws, and those are the 2 picks. And those
for the season, he's 86%, 86 as a rating,
which is a good number.
Which isn't a bad number.
I mean, you're dealing with a franchise that's had the Grossmans and the Greases and the Ortons putting up 70s and 72.
But if this is Rex Grossman, are we saying good Rex, bad Rex?
You're saying bad Rex.
Good Jay, bad Jay.
You're saying bad Rex. Of course you are.
Oh, so now with Jay Cutler, are you allowed to say good? Or is he above that?
The difference is when Rex Grossman had a bad day, it was inexplicably bad. He wouldn't throw 2 picks. He'd throw 4 picks. And he wouldn't find a way to throw the 2 touchdown passes. He wouldn't find a way to march them down the field. Jay made a couple of mistakes last night, but if you eliminate those mistakes, he made some unbelievable decisions, some unbelievable
you got the Wani thing. If not for those 2 mistakes. You got the Wani thing. If you don't make 2 mistakes,
it all counts. But the difference is you can see that Jay Cutler can get himself out of these. He can throw 2 picks and win a game.
The difference between Rex and Jay, though, Jay's a franchise quarterback.
That's true.
That's the difference. Although I was surprised your franchise quarterback is the worst in football in the red zone.
He's bad. He's bad. And a lot of that, again, we go back as a product of the running game. Denver cannot run the game in the red zone last year, and neither can the Bears this year.
So
you rely too much on your quarterback.
We'll figure out a way to blame him for his red zone thing pretty soon. The running games now.
If you fail to run the football successfully, though, it does have a negative effect on your play action.
Then how did they get touchdowns in the red zone last night when they couldn't run the football?
Well, that was simply the Bears playing conservative coverage. I know you're talking about how do you not double cover Tony Gonzalez in a situation. There's no such thing as double coverage in a cover 2 zone.
Peanut Tillman was
locked up on Roddy White.
Was locked up on Roddy White, but other times he did go up against Tony Gonzalez because Peanut's big enough.
You know what happened on that touchdown play that you're talking about, the Tony Gonzalez?
Right. Yeah.
Is he's on the left-hand side.
Right.
And he's coming off.
Over.
He does a little angle out towards the cone, and then comes back.
He found the crease, right?
Right. And what you do is he's looking for that little soft spot in the defense.
Right.
And it happens, it was right behind.
And that's what a Hall of Famer does.
There's a touchdown in the red zone when Atlanta couldn't run the ball, ladies and gentlemen.
That is cover 2 zone right there, and the middle linebacker's responsibility is the deep middle of the field. It's not like he's one-on-one with Gonzalez.
Absolutely.
It's his job to cover that zone. But a Hall of Fame tight end like Tony Gonzalez knows how to make that slightest little wiggle to find the soft spot in the zone. Matt Ryan delivers the ball on time and accurately.
See, because Al Afalafa was there, but he was covering the guy on the
it's cover 2 zone. The 2 safeties have the deep outside responsibility.
Roach and Afalava can't cover the Hall of Famer. Roach and Afalava, was that supposed to be the player?
There's a lot of people who can't cover
the guy covering them now, and he wasn't supposed to be. He had another man out there to be concerned.
But if you're not supposed to, there's no one covering anybody. It's a zone, isn't it?
Right, it's a zone. There's no one saying I've got Tony Gonzalez.
So what I was telling Dan is, could somebody have just maybe saw what was happening?
He had another
in that situation, you really can.
I understand it was a good play.
If you slide a safety over to Tony Gonzalez, now you got Zach Bowman maybe lined up one-on-one with Roddy White. You can't do that either.
Zach Bowman, Afalava, Nick Roach. We're going all the way.
Murderer's row of Bears.
Well, that's all I'm telling you. When you play a good
simple case. Yes. The middle linebacker has got to cover the guy deep. That's all.
That was an X-and-O situation, and you got a Hall of Famer going up against a third-string middle linebacker in that X-and-O situation.
And that's my point to Dan.
You're right.
You don't play that.
And whether he's third string or not, he's the guy that's out there playing. The defense didn't lose this game.
No, they don't. But good football teams help a third stringer cover up.
Sure, they do.
Good football teams do. I'm the only man on an island.
John, thanks so much.
Johnny, I got something for you.
Always feisty, my friend.
You got to be on a first-name basis at the market.
Hey, me and Kenny are tight these days. You kidding me?
There you go.
Hey, you have to talk to him about a little tryout, man. You played baseball in college, right?
I hung up my spikes at 30. I don't know if I could turn on the inside fastball.
How did the little lady like going down to Florida State?
Oh, she loved it. We had a big tailgate with all the amenities at the football game. She was checking her makeup half the time. But you know what? It was a lot of fun.
What'd you guys have on the grill?
Oh, we had a pig on the rotisserie. We had ribs on the grill. I mean, this was college football at its finest. It was beautiful. It was good stuff.
And does the Indian still have the eyesight? Does he throw that? Is he the only guy left that can get the job done? Throw that spear in the middle of the
field.
Chief
Osceola is still quite arguing, dead at center field, no problem.
Throws the spear in the middle of the field.
Yes.
In the meantime, Illinois can't have a mascot.
And the friends of the program still going strong down there.
They're still going strong.
But the friends of the program ain't friends of certain coaches.
How do you think I got my tickets? You kidding me?
There you go. Thanks,
45-yard line.
Guys, you got it.
Time for us to take a break here on the Monsters in the Morning. When we return for hour number 2, we'll go around the NFL.
Oh my God.